Welcome back. In this video, we will discuss about coelom. So as a part of that, we have to see what is a coelom and how many types are there and which organisms exhibit which type of coelom and what is the structure of that coelom and what are the uses of that coelom. Okay, as a part of that, as we are discussing the coelom topic as a basis for classification. So how coelom is helpful for classifying the animals among the animal kingdom. That means actually there are three types of coeloms, and which animal exhibiting which type of coelom, they are classified accordingly. Okay, now coelom means the body cavity which is lined by mesodermal epithelium. That body cavity is known as coelom. Okay, so mesodermal epithelium is also known as peritoneum. It is also known as peritoneum. Okay, this is the definition about coelom. The body cavity which is lined by the mesodermal epithelium, that is known as coelom. And it is a space, the space which is lined by the mesodermal epithelium, and that space is filled by a fluid known as coelomic fluid. So here we have to discuss some important basics. So what are those? Actually, the concept of coelom arose from the triploblastic animals, especially from platyhelminthes. So from here the topic of coelom arose. So which type of phylum exhibits which type of coelom and what is the structure of that, we will see in detail. Okay. Now coelom, according to their structure, it was divided into three broad groups. Those are coelomates, pseudocylomates, and eucoelomates. Eucoelom means true coelom. The animals which does not have coelom, those are acoelom. A means absent. Acoelom. And having some type of false coelom, those are pseudocylomates. And the true coelom, the animals are called as eucoelom. And in eucoelom, again two subgroups. Those are schizocoelom and enterocoelom. Now, first of all, we will see the examples and then we will go detail about the structure. The acoelomates are, example, it is started from the phylum Platyhelminthes. And pseudocoelom was present in Nematoda or Aschelminthes. And from Annelida, Arthropoda and Mollusca, they exhibit schizocoelom, one type of true coelom, and the enterocoelom was exhibited by echinodermata and chordata. So this is how they classified the whole animal kingdom, depend upon the type of coelom. Understand? Now each and every type of coelom we will discuss in detail. Now before going into the coelom, we have to know, for example, now I am trying to draw the body cavity. For example, this is the alimentary canal, and from here this is the stomach, a small intestine, and this is the large intestine, and this is the anus, and these are the intestinal network, for example. So here, while considering the coelom, we have to consider from here to here, mouth to anus, as a single tube, mouth to anus. And here the body, the outer structure, here the body we have to consider as another tube. Understanding? Now if you understand this concept, we will understand the coelom easily. So here I am considering the whole alimentary canal as one tube from mouth to anus, and here the body cavity I am taking as a outer tube, for example. Okay, so here, from here we can discuss the topic. Now a coelom. So already we discussed that the coelom topic arised from the concept or arised from the triploblastic animals. That means triploblastic animals means they have ectoderm, they have mesoderm, and they have endoderm. So three layers they are having. So how they are arranged and how the coelom is present in that animals, we will see in detail. Now the outer body cavity, from the previous example, from the previous diagram, we are taking like this. This is mouth to anus and this is the outer body cavity. So here I am drawing in a particular shape. For example, platyhelminthes body is like this because they are flatworms, because platyhelminthes, so they are also called as flatworms. So in flatworms we can take the body structure like this. So here I am drawing the external layer, that is the body cavity. That is the body cavity, which is filled with the cells, a cellular layer. That cellular layer is known as ectoderm. And here again inside I am drawing the internal alimentary canal. So this is also a cellular layer which is formed by endoderm. Ectoderm outside, endoderm inside. Now what is the discussion about mesoderm? Because they are having three layers. Okay. Now this space or this body cavity is filled with mesoderm. It is not a lining group of cells coming and here forming a solid mass here. The mesoderm is coming and occupying the entire position, and so many cells are present here, solid mass, and the mesoderm is modified into mesenchyme. The mesoderm is modified into mesenchyme, solid mass of cells. Solid mass of cells. But according to the definition of coelom, what we are discussing, it has to form as a lining or one layer or two layers. But here the entire space is occupied by the solid mass of cells. That cells are known as mesenchyme. So here what is happening? For example, this is the body cavity. For example, here we can have heart, here we can have lungs, and here we can have heart, kidneys, and so many internal organs are there. So here also so many internal organs are there, but they are kept very tightly inside the solid mass of cells. They cannot move freely. If it is filled with some fluid, they can move freely, but here solid mass is there. The internal organs cannot move freely. Okay, so here the space is filled with solid mass. That's why coelom was absent. So here that's why we are calling as a coelom. This is exhibited by the phylum Platyhelminthes. Here we have flatworms. Okay, so you have to imagine the 3D direction. This is the body and this is the alimentary canal. Understanding? Now, moving to the pseudocylomates. Pseudocylomate is present in a phylum. Pseudocylom is present in the phylum Nematoda. Pseudocylom is present in Nematoda or Aschelminthes. Nematoda or Aschelminthes. So in this phylum, what is pseudocylom and how it is present, we will see. As normal, this is the outer body wall. This is the outer body wall formed by ectoderm. And here we have inner alimentary canal, that is gut. It is formed by endoderm. And this is the space, whole space. Now, what is coelom? The space is to be lined by mesoderm. Then it is called as true coelom. But here, in the case of a false coelom, pseudo means false. In the case of false coelom, what is happening? The mesoderm layer is there, but it is confined only to the outer region. That means it is lining the ectoderm only. It is not lining the endoderm. It is not lining the endoderm. But true coelom means it has to, the mesoderm has to line the ectoderm and it also has to line the endoderm. But here in the case of pseudocoelom, the mesodermal lining is present only to the outer region. So here it is not there. That's why it is looking like a coelom. But when we observe internally, there is no mesodermal lining inside. And this space, again, this is space is filled with the fluid. This space is filled with the fluid. So this fluid is known as pseudocoelomic fluid. So this is about the pseudocoelom. Here this is the internal layer. And here this is a ectoderm. In detail I am drawing, nothing is there. And mesoderm is confined only to the outer region, not to the inner region. Mesoderm is confined to the outer region. So this is known as pseudocoelom. This is exhibited by the phylum Nematoda. Now we are going to the true coelom. Now here we are going to the true coelom. That is eucoelom. So in this eucoelom, we discussed that there are two types. One is schizocoelom and the another one is enterocoelom. So first of all, at common how they are forming we will see. and we will see the minute difference between these two. Because anyhow these are calling as a true coelom, eucoelom. But why we have two differences, that is schizoscoelom and true coelom, enterocoelom, we will discuss in brief. So here, as earlier, this is the outer body layer formed by ectoderm, and this is the inner layer, and this is the inner layer, that is elementary canal is lined by endoderm. But here true coelom means the mesoderm is lining the ectoderm and also the endoderm. The true coelom is lining both the ectoderm and the endoderm. That's why we are calling this as a true coelom. And here we have the fluid. In this space we have the fluid. And here, see here, the mesoderm is divided into two layers. One layer, the outer layer is attaching to the ectoderm, and the inner layer is attaching to the endoderm. So the outer layer of the mesoderm is also known as parietal peritoneum. And it is also known as somatic peritoneum. It is also known as somatic peritoneum. What is peritoneum? It is nothing but mesodermal epithelium. So the outer layer is parietal peritoneum and the inner layer is visceral peritoneum or splanchnic peritoneum. The inner layer is known as, and this is endoderm. See, this is the difference between a coelom. There the mesoderm is modified into mesenchyme, solid mass of cells, and there is no coelomic space. And in a pseudocoelom, the mesoderm is present only on the outer layer, that is lining the ectoderm, not lining the mesoderm. And here in true coelom, the mesoderm is divided into two layers, and one layer is attaching to the ectoderm and one layer that is attaching or lining to the endoderm. So the outer layer of the mesoderm is known as parietal peritoneum, and the inner layer is known as visceral peritoneum. So this is the true coelom. And what is the difference between schizoscoelom and enterocoelom? That we have to know. Here in the schizoscoelom, what happens? The mesoderm here is divided into a block-like structures. It is divided into a block-like structures. The inner and outer mesodermal layers are divided into block-like structures, and slowly those blocks will fuse together and form a cavity. They form a cavity. So this cavity is filled with the fluids, that is coelomic fluid. Here, this is how the coelom is formed. That means the cavity is lined the endoderm and ectoderm, but it is present in a block-like, a cavity-like manner. So this is how the schizoscoelom will be formed. Okay, now what is the difference between schizoscoelom? Schizoscoelom is forming like this, and how the enterocoelom is formed? The enterocoelom is formed. This is the ectoderm and this is the endoderm, and from here, this is the outer mesoderm. This is the outer mesoderm. And what happens to the inner mesoderm? This is the inner mesoderm. Here we are talking about mesoderm was divided into blocks. So those are mesodermal blocks. But here mesodermal we can call as mesoderm pouches from archenteron. That means here what happened, the archenteron is nothing but a gut or archenteron, you can call as gut or archenteron. So the mesoderm which is lining to the gut, they are formed into a pouch-like structures. They are formed into a pouch-like structures. Later onwards, these pouches extended and fused with the outer mesodermal layers. These pouches extended and fused with the outer mesodermal layers, like this one, like this, and fuses with that. And slowly what happens here, we can see the formation of cavities again. We can see the formation of cavities. See, due to the formation of pouches, here the cavities are formed. And here what happened? Blocks, formation of blocks, mesodermal blocks, cavities are forming. This is how the enterocoelom is formed, and that is how the cytocoelom is formed. So this is the detailed explanation of coelom. And how it is formed, we observed, and what is the structure and which type of phylums exhibit which type of coelom already we discussed. This is about the basis for classification, and in the next video onwards we will start the classification that starts from the phylum Porifera. And in the Porifera we will take what is the structure of the Porifera and how many classes are there and what are the special features and what are the general characters and what is the classification we will see. Like that, each and every phylum we will discuss in this manner. Thank you.